Now we're at $4,000 plus, and the same pattern is forming. The fear trade is reaching a crescendo, and when fear becomes consensus, that's when the smart money starts heading for the exits. Let me tell you something I learned from Ben Graham 70 years ago. Price is what you pay, value is what you get. And gold, well, gold gives you nothing. I know that sounds harsh, but stick with me here. When you buy a farm in Iowa, you get corn and soybeans every year. When you buy a share of Coca-Cola, you get a piece of a business that sells billions of beverages and generates real cash flow. When you buy a U.S. Treasury bond, you get interest payments. But when you buy an ounce of gold, you still have an ounce of gold in 10 years. It doesn't grow, it doesn't produce, it just sits there looking at you. Let me paint you a picture. Right now, all the gold ever mined in human history, every wedding ring, every coin, every bar in Fort Knox, would form a cube about 68 feet on each side. That's about the size of a baseball infield. At current prices, that cube is worth roughly $19 trillion. Now, for that same $19 trillion, you could buy all the farmland in America, 400 million acres, producing $200 billion worth of crops every year. You could buy the 20 most profitable companies in America, businesses generating hundreds of billions in annual profits. And you'd still have trillions left over for a cup of coffee. Which would you choose? The inert cube that produces nothing, or the productive assets that compound wealth year after year? Anyone watching from Mars would scratch their head at humanity's choice. But here's what's really happening in 2025. Gold isn't rising because of its intrinsic value. It has none. It's rising because people are scared. And when people get scared, they do irrational things. They're scared of inflation, even though it's actually been coming down from its 2022 peaks. They're scared of geopolitical tensions, even though we've had those for decades. They're scared of central bank money printing, even though the Fed has actually been tightening. Fear is profitable until it's not.